WWE Hell in a Cell was last night, and I didn't get to see most of it really, so I'll just be going from what I see in my little sources here that were watching pay-per-view and did a actually full review of it. But from what I saw in the last two matches, were pretty good. So overall, this pay-per-view might be maybe one of the best they've done in a while. Especially since some of the things that happened were a complete shock to me, and you'll see that later on. Okay, and it just talks about the opening Hell in a Cell, so from like in Louisiana, New Orleans, in Bourbon Street, all that stuff, and it talks about, and of course they do the vignettes and all that stuff, and then Michael Cole comes with Hell in a Cell, joined by Jim Ross and Booker T, and they also say Jerry Lawler is still out dealing with injuries. We do not know if the anal bleeding is pending, because of what they said on Raw, and if you don't understand that, go back and watch Raw a few weeks ago. Everyone was like marking the fuck out and laughing so hard about what Michael Cole had to say with a straight face about Jerry Lawler having anal bleeding. If you don't get it, don't worry about it. Okay. Christian comes out for the opening contest. We see Miz and R-Truth, who have tickets in hand. So Awesome Truth is there, paying customers in the front row. John Laurinaitis comes out and argues with them, leading to security escorting Truth and Miz back to the crowd, with the entire arena booing the decision, myself included. But you know what? It is what it is. Gotta get the storyline going somehow. And then Sheamus comes out and starts the matchup. Bell rings and they lock up. Sheamus takes it to the corner and breaks away as Christian sits on the apron. They lock up again, and Sheamus slams Christian down face first into the mat. Sheamus takes Christian down with a side headlock with a 2 count. Sheamus with another takedown, another headlock pin. Sheamus gets a big slam and another 2 count. Another takedown. I'm sorry. Sheamus locks Christian into the ropes, but he fights it off. Sheamus comes back after a slap to the face and chases him around the ring. Sheamus wells away with forearm shots to the chest for a 2 count. Christian comes out with the second rope, but Sheamus catches him in midair and slams him hard. Sheamus climbs up to the top, but Christian pushes him to the floor. Christian falls to the what the fuck did he say? Falls to the floor and beats Sheamus back into the ring. Christian with more right hands and kicks. Christian chokes him on the ropes now if the referee counts. Christian continues the offense. Sheamus fights back and Christian hits with a missile dropkick for a 2 count. Christian slaps Sheamus now. Sheamus comes back with full force and beats Christian into the mat. Sheamus starts dropping knees and the crowd cheers him. Sheamus with a big pair of clotheslines and a big slam for another 2 count. Sheamus with a kick to the gut. Sheamus goes and press lands him. But Christian slides out. Christian goes for a kill switch, but Sheamus fights him off. Christian goes back again, but Sheamus hits a backbreaker after catching him in midair. 2 count for Sheamus. Christian comes back with right hands over to the top. Sheamus catches him and climbs up also. Christian knocks him back to the mat. Sheamus charges into the corner, but Christian moves and kicks him in the head. Christian nails a tornado DDT from the corner for a 1 count. Christian goes for a kill switch again, but Sheamus blocks it and clotheslines him to the corner. Sheamus with a running knee to the head. Christian makes another comeback, but Sheamus kicks his legs out. Sheamus pulls himself to the top turnbuckle and leaps down with a big shoulder block. Sheamus goes for a brogue kick, but Christian sidesteps. Sheamus goes in for a big apron for a shoulder to the gut. Christian goes to his legs and trips him, sending Sheamus back first to the apron. Sheamus comes back and drops Christian's head to the floor. Sheamus blocks a shove from the ring post, but turns around to the spear. Christian comes back in the ring as the referee counts. Sheamus makes it in before the 8 count, and Christian spears him for another 2 count. Christian climbs back to the top, goes for a diving headbutt, but Sheamus moves. Christian goes for a Celtic cross, but Christian covers it with a kill switch attempt. Sheamus blocks it in a brogue kick for the win. That's probably one of the best endings for chain wrestling. A chain wrestling sequence, which you don't really see a lot in the PG era, because little kids are bored as fuck and they're idiots, which you'll see in the next match is a perfect example of how disrespectful they are. And of course Mark Henry has a promo and he talks about the Hall of Pain and blah blah blah. Now this match is what I wanted to see. Unfortunately, I did not see it. And that sucks. But it is Sin Cara versus Sin Cara, aka Mystico versus Hunico. And I kind of like what the commentary people did. They're fucking idiots sometimes. And they said, and for the commentary, they said Sin Cara Azul. Sin Cara, I don't even know what they said, Sin Cara Negro, because Booker T was there, and you might think that is nigger or negro or whatever. But whatever, I don't fucking know what they did. But all I remember, that was kind of funny. As he says, Sin Cara and Sin Cara Blue, whatever, so I'm just going to announce them by their names. We go to the ring, and comes out the first Sin Cara, wearing the blue and gold, signifying this is Mystico. And the Sin Cara music starts to play again, but it has a different intro. The other Sin Cara is in black and silver, meaning it's Hunico. And hits the ring. The bell rings and they lock up. Hunico strikes down first and stands on Mystico's back. Submission to a 2 count by Hunico. Hunico fights out with Arm Drags and they square off. They go to lock up, but Hunico pushes Mystico into the mat. And they trade holds back to their feet in another face-off. They lock up for the test of strength and go to the mat. More pin attempts traded and holded for another face-off. Another back and forth sequence to the counters and another face-off as the crowd claps. They run to the ropes and Mystico Arm Drags Hunico right out of the ring and leaps over the ropes and down to his opponent. Mystico baseball slides into Hunico, sending him back to the floor. Mystico goes back for a moonsault, but from the apron but misses. He misses Hunico. Hunico takes advantage and kicks him before bringing him back down to the ring. Hunico springboards into the ring for another 2 count. Hunico drops kicks him in the head, barely connecting and covers on another 2 count. Hunico with more drop kicks to the back. Hunico with big knife chops in the corner now. Hunico knocks Mystico off the ropes with a forearm shot to the face, and then leaps him off the ropes with a big slash. More back and forth action. Hunico with a backbreaker into another 2 count. Hunico with another headlock, and then more kicks to the back. More back and forth until they collide in midair. The crowd boos, and a boring chant mats out. This is from the little kids in the audience. Fuck you, little kids. This is probably luchador wrestling. I wouldn't say not at its best, but it's pretty damn close. And you're doing this shit. Just fuck little kids. No respect for the tradition of luchador wrestling and Mexican wrestling in general. Normally the crowd would pop or high flying shit like that, but I digress. Anyway, Mystico fires back with sorry, I lost my place. Mystico fires back with kicks and misses a springboard back elbow drop. Hunico ends up on the floor. Mystico leaps from the top rope and takes him out. Back in the ring, and he gets a 2 count. A roll up by Mystico now for a 2 count. Hunico kicks Mystico and powerbombs him for a 2 count. Hunico stomps and goes to the top. Mystico meets him and climbs with him. Mystico hits the arm drag on the top rope and charges in the corner, kicking Hunico in the face. Mystico goes to the top and rolls through a senton. They run for the ropes again, and Mystico counters, turning a roll-up into a power bomb for the pin and the win, which probably is really impressive for Mystico, a.k.a. the Blue Sin Cara, a.k.a. the real Sin Cara. You know, fuck little kids. Seriously, you can't respect this shit, then get the fuck out. Why are you watching it? Anyway, part 2 coming up.